The glass slipped from my hand and shattered against the tiled floor, but I barely noticed the sting of wine splashing across my shirt. What I did notice was the silence that followed. The kind of silence that swallows a room whole. Everyone in that restaurant turned toward us, eyes wide, waiting for the explosion. And it came from me. "Either you tell me the truth right now," I said, my voice trembling but loud enough to cut through the clinking of silverware, "or we're done." Across from me, Daniel didn't stutter. He didn't plead. He didn't even look surprised. He just reached into his pocket, pulled out his keys, and set them neatly on the table. His expression was calm, detached, like he had already left the moment before it even happened. That's when the floor gave way beneath me. For months, I had been battling whispers in the back of my mind. Tiny suspicions I kept pushing down. Late nights at the office. Smiles that lingered too long when his phone lit up. A scent of perfume on his shirt that didn't belong to me. But I told myself stories to keep the world from cracking open. He's stressed. He deserves space. Maybe I'm imagining things. I wanted to believe we were still us. The couple that had once stayed up all night planning a future. The man who used to look at me like I was the center of his world. Except somewhere along the way, that gaze had shifted. And now, in the middle of a crowded restaurant, the mask had fallen. "Daniel," I whispered, my throat dry. "Is there someone else?" His jaw tightened, but his eyes didn't meet mine. "You don't want the answer to that here." A murmur rippled through the tables around us. I could feel strangers' curiosity pressing in, waiting for the climax of a drama they hadn't paid to watch. My face burned, my chest aching with a mixture of rage and humiliation. "No," I said louder now, my voice cracking. "I want the truth. Now." For a moment, the faintest flicker of guilt flashed across his features, but it was gone before I could catch it. He pushed his chair back, slid the keys across the table toward me, and stood. "Then you already know," he said almost gently. "Why make me say it?" The room tilted. I gripped the edge of the table just to stay upright. My husband, my partner, was admitting without admitting, confessing without giving me the mercy of words. The ride home was a blur. I don't even remember leaving the restaurant. One moment, I was sitting among half-eaten plates and judgmental stares. The next, I was in the silence of our living room, staring at the space we used to fill with laughter. His coat still hung by the door. His shoes still sat neatly on the mat. And yet, the house felt abandoned, like he'd already packed up everything that mattered. I sank onto the couch, clutching his keys in my hand, the metal digging into my palm. Questions swirled in my mind like broken glass. Who was she? How long had it been? Was every smile I'd cherished a lie? The worst part wasn't the betrayal itself. It was the way he didn't fight for me. He didn't deny it. He didn't beg. He didn't even flinch. I wasn't losing him to another woman. I had already lost him long ago. That night I searched for answers. I scrolled through his phone, my heart hammering as I unlocked it with the code I wasn't supposed to know. The messages were there, neatly tucked away under a name I didn't recognize. Short, casual lines that carried the weight of intimacy. "Can't wait to see you again. Tonight was perfect. Wish you were here instead." Reading them felt like drowning. Each word pulled me deeper, until I couldn't breathe. The woman wasn't just a fling. She was a presence. Someone he trusted enough to confide in. To share pieces of himself I thought were still mine. I dropped the phone, my vision blurred with tears. I wanted to scream, to smash something, to tear the whole house apart until the pain had somewhere to go. But instead, I sat there in silence, suffocating beneath the weight of everything I'd discovered. The next morning, he walked through the door as if nothing had happened. No apology, no explanation, just the smell of coffee clinging to his jacket. "Where were you?" I asked, my voice steadier than I felt. He shrugged. "With her." The bluntness knocked the air from my lungs. "You're not even going to hide it anymore?" He met my eyes then, and for the first time, I saw the truth laid bare. "I'm tired of pretending. And I think you are too." His words sliced through me like ice. I wanted to hate him, to scream until he broke under the weight of my fury. But beneath the anger, something else stirred. An aching grief for the love we had lost long before this moment. I wish I could say I threw him out, that I took the keys, packed his things, and slammed the door behind him. But the truth is, I just stood there, frozen. Because the betrayal wasn't sudden. It was a slow erosion I'd been ignoring for months, maybe years. And now, all that remained were the ruins I had refused to see. He left quietly, his footsteps echoing down the hallway. No slammed doors. No dramatic farewell. Just absence, swift and final. I sat on the couch until the sun rose higher, the light spilling into the empty room, illuminating every crack I had pretended wasn't there. The story people saw at that restaurant was a wife confronting her husband, a marriage unraveling in public. But the real story, the one they didn't see, was quieter. It was about a love that had been dying for a long time. About two people who had stopped reaching for each other, until someone else filled the void. I held his keys in my hand one last time, before setting them down on the table. Cold. Lifeless. Just like us. And in that stillness, I realized the most haunting truth of all. The betrayal wasn't just his. It was mine too, for pretending not to see, for holding on to a ghost long after the man I loved had gone.